Today we're going to go over just the basic operations of the McLeod Anywhere app. Pretty easy to use, pretty straightforward. There's some stuff in here you won't need to know, so we're just going to go over the basic operations of what you're going to use most of the time, and then just kind of explain some other stuff. When you open it up, here it is. Now, when you come up to your login screen, you're going to have to get your login screen from your carrier. And your carrier is either going to be, if you're a company driver, from your company, and if you're an owner-operator, from whoever told you to install the app. They will know your username and password. When you log in, it's going to look something like this. I'm not going to go through every part, but I'm going to explain some of it. The one part there where it says My Profile right in the middle, if you click on that, that's going to show your name. It'll show your CDL expiration date, your physical expiration date, and that kind of stuff there. OS&D is if you ever have over shortage and damage, you go in there, fill it out, pretty easy. Accidents, if you click on accidents, you can see there's one under here for me. I was getting ready to turn left, and somebody decided to speed down the left lane, the opposite direction. It was a small little street, and when I started to turn, yeah, they got my cattle guard. But you can see that it'll show that in here. My settlements, that's where generally your pay, if the company uses this for the pay. My company, if you click on that, my settlements, it'll show you my paychecks. Mobile communications, we're going to go over in 1 minute. And you got my loads, that's one of my loads. And then current assignment is whatever you're on track with right now. I don't use that much, and I'll show you why. If you go into current assignments, it says, hey, I'm going to go to Nestle, at 3900 North Freedom Road. If you go under my loads, it shows you all my different loads I had, and whatever's highlighted is what's going on now. And if you see what's highlighted for that bold 1050635, that is my trip number. That's my number my company gives me, and it tells me where to pick up and where to deliver. But that is just like going to my shipper. If you look above it, you can actually see, from Mayville to Appleton, that was from my last consignee to my current shipper. So if you click on the top one, that Appleton to Auburn, this shows me it always opens up to the consignee. Okay, and it shows you everything you need to know. But up in the middle at the top where it says Last Stop, All Stops, Images, you want to click on All Stops. This tells you exactly what stops you're going to have on the road. You can see I'm picking up at Nestle in Appleton, Wisconsin, and I got 2 deliveries, Safeway, both in Auburn, Washington. Now, it's the same location, I know that, for 2 reasons. It's got the same address, and if you look, the 0 miles, you can see 1,930 more miles to get to the first stop, and 0 miles to get to the second, and total distance is that. So it's the same stop, and it has the same address. What you do, if you click right on that one where it says Nestle Cold Freedom, it opens up, and this shows you all the information about the shipper. You got the address, the phone number if you want to, different drivers' reviews, when it's scheduled, and most of the time it depends on who put this in, if they put this information in there or not. But for me, it shows me my weight, 32.7, which I know is good, so if I show up full of diesel, I'm okay. How many cases in the volume, and I always try to look for a temperature, and there's no temperature here, but we're going to keep looking. And then reference numbers. These are the numbers, if you're checking in, you're always going to need to know to check in. So if you go back, go to All Stops and your delivery, first delivery spot, right here. It tells me the address, when it's scheduled, what they're getting off. The reason this is 2 is they got 2 separate orders, same location from the same place. That's why it's going to look a little different. And if you go down, you can see the delivery number and just any special information they have. Go back, we'll go to this second delivery. Same thing. You can look through here, it's the same address up there. If you go to the last stop, this is going to usually give you a little more information. This is the screen you come in when you first open up your trip number. You scroll down, it's going to have everything. You see the temperature range right there in the middle, -10 to 1. So I know I have to be -10 when I get there. Uh, Having your temperature, I know this location, you have to be at the temperature to even get in the gate. They look at it, and if I'm -5, you're going to be waiting. If it's not on, you'll be waiting for a while till it's cooled down if it's a hot day. So it gives you the delivery numbers, the weight again here, the BOL. Sometimes the BOL is wrong, so check that because you'll need to know that when you fill the information out. And other information's here. That basically tells me all my load information. We're actually going to go through this load. It's going to take me days to do it because you're going to see every step of the way I do this for the load. Now, I'm not going to upload this video till after I deliver for security reasons. I don't want people to know when and where I'm going to be at. So, what that is there. So, again, if you ever want to see information, if you're in the main screen, I always go to my loads, and it tells you that whatever's highlighted you're on, because I haven't got there yet. When I get to the Appleton, I will show you. But if I click on the Appleton to Auburn, that top one there, gives you all your information on this first screen. If you click on all stops at the top, you can see here. Sometimes you'll have a second stop that'll say via. Basically, they're saying you want to take a certain route. They want you to avoid a certain area. Let's say you're going from LA to Wisconsin. I just had that. And they put a via in there in Wyoming to kind of go up. Basically, they're telling me to go up 15 and over 80 all the way instead of cutting up through Denver. That's what that basically was there. So what you want to do here is you got to do a few things with the load. First, we got to accept the load to let them know, hey, I can do this load. I'm good. If you look at that bold number, my load number, 0150635. Got to remember that. This mobile communications right there, this is how they send me messages and how I can send them messages. So it'll take a second to load up here. I load in. You can go in the settings here and change it. I load more than I really need to, so it takes a little longer. So this is all the ones I have. Now, if it's yellow, it hasn't been read. They resent that to me. It's the same one down below. I read it, so I already know what it is. Up at the top, the little plus. Well, first, to the left of that, the little looks like an equalizer. If you click on that, here's where you can say, you can click on, I can click that and it'll only show me the ones I haven't read. The message type, inbound, outbound, you can also go just inbound or just outbound. Days to show 30. By default, I don't believe it's 30. I changed it to 30. So in here, to the right of that, if you click the plus button, it's going to take a second to load. It's going to bring me all the forms in, and we're going to go over a few of these that for this trip here itself. And this is probably, depending on where you're at, this can take some time. There we go. Select a form, click on that in the drop down. Now, first thing we're going to do is, before we forget that number, the number 1, that load confirmation, that's telling us, hey, I can do the load. It did auto-populate 0635, which is good. If not, you just change it. I can pick up on time, yes. Just put a Y. I can deliver on time, yes. And any comments on here? Comment might be, I've had some comments before, like sending in, and I also send them a message so they double check it, but I say, hey, time is real short on this. I'm running on recaps. It's going to be real tight making it on time. They know that. There's basically a CYA in here, but I let them know through another message I'll show you in a second here too, but that's another CYA for you. Up at the top right, it looks like the little paper airplane, the right arrow. You click on that, it's going to send the message out. It was sent successfully. Now, if we click on that plus again, it's going to bring up the forms again. I want to go over a few of the forms here. Let's let this load again. Sorry about having to have you wait here, but I did want to forget that 0635 load number. Loading, it's loading. There we go. So, forms, free form. If you click on free form, that's 0. That's if you want to just send a blank message. It's not really a macro. There's nothing, there's no pre-thing. It's just blank. You want to send a message in. That's where I would send it in saying, hey, like on the other one, hey, I'm real tight on time here. And also say who you're sending it to, you'll know whoever gave you the load to send it to them. Say, hey, I'm real tight on time. I should make it, but it's real close, just so they know. Another one you're going to use all the time is 2 arrive, or 1 load confirmation every time. The 2 and 3 you're going to use every load. Arrive for a shipper, we'll go over that when I get to the shipper. Depart for a shipper, we'll go over that when I do that. Now, 4 and 5, Or arrive shipper receiver, depart shipper receiver. This is if you got multiple pickups. Let's say you're picking up from 3 locations and you're delivering it to 3 locations. Well, you're going to arrive at first shipper and depart first shipper, and then from then on it's going to be arrive shipper, depart shipper, arrive shipper, depart shipper. Down at 6, it's arrive final. That's when we get to Washington. We get there, we're going to click arrive final. It's in there. You fill it out. We'll go over it when we get there. Empty final. We do that. There it is. Now, arrive, that 4 and 5, arrive shipper receiver, depart shipper receiver, you're going to use those for if you have multiple consignees. If you have like 2 stops or 3 stops, same thing as the other one there. And then empty final, number 7, that's when you're unloading, you got your paperwork, everything signed for, you put it there. A couple other things you might use in here. Request route if you have a route and you don't really have it. Any trailer damage in there. Breakdown, accident. Fill those out if you have any. If you're in an accident, fill that out. If you're in a breakdown, put in the breakdown report, then call dispatch. That's generally how they want it done. Your company might be a little different, but make sure you put that in so they have that. If you need advance expense, number 16 here. If you click on that, that's where mostly you're going to be using that is if you get a lumper. If you need to request money for lumper. You submit it through there. That's pretty much all you're going to be using in those. I need money. We're just pretend here. I need money for advance expense. It's going to be an expense, just E. My ID, whatever your driver code is, it's 125, let's say, for lumper. And if you look down at all these down here, you know, tolls, lodging, food, phone, repairs, other, lumper, LU for lumper. You can see that there. That's it. That's all there's to it. And then you hit send, and then you'll get notice in your inbox, in your mobile communications, about your authorization number. That's basic operations of this. Now that we did that, now we're going to go on to the rest of it when you get to the shipper and receivers. I hope this is helpful so far. Any questions, throw them down below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much. Okay, the next step in this process is we are going to arrive at the shipper. Mobile communications is getting the list of the forms up at the top. We click that plus symbol up at the top. And the forms, we are going to choose number 2, arrive first shipper. And there's my load number, and make sure you got your trailer number in there. That's it. Every trailer number usually remembers the last one. Hit that arrow in the top right. Looks like a paper airplane. It's going to send off. That's it. That's all you got to do in your arrive shipper. The next thing we have to do is when we depart shipper. That's it. Hope everybody has joined this so far. Again, any questions, let me know. We got our load and we are loaded. I got my bill of ladings in hand and we are going to finish this. If you go under depart, first shipper and receiver, all this information should be on your bill of lading. Load number, inbound trailer. Did I drop the trailer? No. Outbound trailer will be the same one, GR27. If you dropped it, put the new one in. Bill of lading does match up. My seal for this one is 7144761. My weight is actually lighter than what they said, which is kind of nice. It's 28,102. Reefer temperature is -10. It's not continuous. If it's continuous, I'd put a space C. They said just start stop. I asked them, it's fine. The rest of this, you really don't have to fill out. If you want to, you can, about front, back, but you don't have to. That's the impertinent stuff right there. You hit submit, and it's sent off. That's all you do. Now we're going to go into when we get to the receiver and what we do there. That's it. So we are at our consignee here, our receiver. So we are going to check in. Just up in the same mobile communications areas we were before, select form, arrive final, right here. Just make sure your load number is correct. That's it. That's all you got to do when you get here. And again, hitting the top right button up there, that right arrow looks like a paper airplane. Click on that.
and you are good to go. That is it. What I'm going to have a lumper fee here, so I will start it out. I'll do everything except the dollar amount. Don't know the dollar amount, but I'll get up to that point. Go into the forms again and looking for advance expense. This is an expense, so just put an E. You put your driver code in there, whatever your driver code is, and the amount. Let's say this one's going to be 125, don't know. And LU for lumper. It says right there for lumper. That's it. That's all you got to do for the lumper. Then you hit submit, and you'll get your comp data or EFS code back, whatever you use for that. So that's it. We'll go to the next step when we finish up, where we do done unloading. That's it. Okay, I got everything, lumper, got my paperwork, everything is good to go. So here's how you finish the load. Again, you go to mobile communications, hit the plus, and we're empty final. So you go in here, lumper amount. This was an expensive one, $483. Helps if you put the right amount in. The bill is fine. Yep. That's all you really have to do. OS&D, you can put no if there is. If there is, you got to go yes in there. But that's it. Then again, when you're done, at the top, hit that little right arrow, that paper little airplane, you're good to go. That's all there's to it for doing the trip. I hope this was helpful. Any questions, please ask down below. Have a great day. Bye.